That feeling you get when you finish a game, movie or book and you sat there with that empty feeling wishing you could experience it for the first time again or that there was more material is bittersweet as it shows you enjoyed the medium. In this video I'll be telling you a couple of games that made me feel like this and I'd love to hear yours in the comments as I'm always keen to hear about games I haven't played yet. The year is 2010. I rushed home to go on my DS Lite but I was getting bored of Pokemon Heart Gold, so I searched on Internet Explorer, I know, for highly rated DS games. This is where I would come across what would become one of my all-time favourite games, The World Ends With You. Just in case you haven't played this masterpiece of a game, 1, you should, and 2, while I won't be spoiling any major plot points, there will be a few minor spoilers for the beginning of the game, so you've been warned. Set in an alternate Shibuya called The Underground, we play as Neku Sakuraba, who has lost all hope in humanity and just wants to be left alone. The story begins as he wakes up on the floor at Shibuya Crossing with a mysterious pin in his hand that allows him to read other people's thoughts. However, he is sharply interrupted by a text telling him he has 60 minutes to reach 104 or he'll face erasure as a sharp pain hits his hand. Looking at his palm, a timer has appeared, counting down from 60 minutes. Still in a state of bewilderment, monsters we later find out called the Noise attack him out of nowhere, forcing him to run. Now in a state of panic, he desperately calls out for help. I mean, when frog creatures with missing legs appear, you'd think there'd be mass panic. But it's at this moment he realises that no one can hear or see him and the Noise. He's completely alone. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Shiki Misaki pleads with Neku to forge a pact, and passes him yet another mysterious pin that allows him to shoot fire. After quickly defeating the remaining Noise, Shiki explains now they've made a pact, the Noise won't come after them anymore, but it's just the beginning. They are trapped in Shibuya participating in a week-long set of games called the Reaper's Game. It's at this point while trying to understand what's going on, Shiki asks for his name, to which to Neku's horror, he can't remember anything other than his name. He has no idea how or why he's at Shibuya, and with that, the games begin. Reviews at the time praised the game for its music and art style, but for me the real beauty came from its storytelling. It's difficult to contextualise without spoiling major plot points, but the developers managed to make you fully empathise with the characters in situations that are complex and not just option 1's good and option 2's bad. Combined with some of the best plot twists I've ever experienced due to being able to fully empathise with characters and the twists themselves making perfect sense in the context of the world, it created some of the most impactful moments I've ever experienced across any video games. And bear in mind I played the original game on a tiny DS Lite. This to me is something that can immediately break immersion. If a plot twist is done that somehow breaks the rules of the world, it makes you think, well, what else can be broken for the sake of the plot? But The World Ends With You executes near perfect storytelling and plot twists almost the entirety of the way through the game. Also, the idea of being erased was just brilliant. Like, how many games have we played where death is used as the main stakes, which, don't get me wrong, can still lead to some brilliant games. But the idea of erasure, that you'll just be completely erased from history, everyone you knew will think you never existed, all your impact's gone from the world, just adds this level of danger few games have made me feel, further helping you relate to the characters as to why they take the measures they do to survive the Reaper's Game. When making this video, my mind instantly went to Portal, specifically the first game. I still remember a friend telling me about something called the Orange Box and saying have to try this game on it called Portal. As most people watching will have already played this game, I'm only going to do a brief overview of the synopsis which won't spoil any major plot points, but there will be a few minor ones spoiled, so again, you've been warned. Set in Aperture Science, we play Shell awakening in a test chamber with a robot voice guiding us through the facility called the Enrichment Centre, where we are tasked with testing the portal gun. Doubt slowly starts to enter your mind while completing the test about the intentions of the robot voice, starting first with the voice glitching out and then making you do a chamber designed for military androids with live fire. And aren't these tests supposed to be monitored? There hasn't been a single person in any of the viewing galleries so far, and in fact, we haven't even come across another person, or for that matter, we've not even heard of anything else other than the background noise of the facility. What happened here and who exactly is this robot? Both Portal 1 and 2 are brilliant games, but for me Portal 1 made a bigger impact as it was unlike anything else I played previously. As a sci-fi fan anyway, the game being set in a mysterious science facility with an unknown robot voice guiding you with undertones of something greater going on, it was perfect story-wise. But the real beauty of this game actually comes from something a bit unconventional, the fact the game doesn't explain everything to you. Nowadays, with the advancement of tools to create different forms of media and the recent trend of reboots and remakes, studios can create large and graphically beautiful worlds, but I feel with certain games it causes it to lose something. Unfortunately, I can't remember who said this and where it is, so I'll put it in the description if I find it. But one of the actors on Star Wars talked about this, specifically saying that it seems every part of the Star Wars universe is getting a TV show, movie, etc., which is making the series as a whole lose its magic. There's something magical about leaving things to the imagination. On a surface level, it somewhat tailors the experience to you as no two people have the same imagination as each other, but more importantly it adds a layer of mystery and wonder to a medium. If you just explicitly told or showed something, while yes it might be done really well, there's no room to imagine anything, immediately taking away that wonder and mystery. In the context of Portal, while there are a million reasons why the series did so well, I do think this was a big part of it, as it's well known that both Half-Life and Portal use game development tricks to make the world feel much bigger than it actually is, despite the levels themselves being relatively small, which to me exacerbates this feeling. For me, I started to wonder what crazy rooms were behind locked doors, or where the corridors lead to behind the observation rooms, which I also think is another factor as to why Portal 2 did so well, as it fleshed out more of Aperture that players had imagined in the first game, allowing players to compare what they imagined versus what it actually looks like, while still incorporating the same game development tricks to still give that sense of you haven't quite seen everything. Slightly off topic, but another great example of this was Assassin's Creed 1 and 2. We never get to see what Abstergo looks like through the entirety of the first game, leaving it to the imagination, giving that same sense of mystery as Portal when we finally get to see it at the start of the second game. Anyway, back onto Portal. Few games have made me feel this sense of wonder and mystery which is executed perfectly in Portal 1, and I wish I could replay the game again for the first time as it was a brilliant experience, as well as finding out about the developer consoles spamming SV cheats 1 commands for the first time. Anyway, click here to learn about the unsolved mystery of Ratman, and if you enjoy, smash the like and subscribe button.